Okay, so most of my job as an online coach is about connecting with people, interacting with people online, whether it be on groups, through YouTube, Instagram, all different various ways, messaging people, one-to-one. Sometimes people contact me and ask for advice. And, ultimately my goal is to get one-to-one clients in order to make money. And there's no secret about that. However, that is not the sole motivation. A lot of the time, I just enjoy helping people because there are people who I actually get in touch with initially, and I can almost tell right from the get-go that they're not going to become one-to-one clients, but I still like to help them. I still like to give them snippets of advice. I still like to either send them over to my YouTube channel or the YouTube channel, and I like to help people out. I like to give people a slightly different perspective on things and try and change their thinking on things. So what I tell those people most of the time as a starter is not to make their health issue their identity, because I feel that that's what a lot of people do. I spend a fair bit of time online interacting with people who have conditions that have been similar to me. I had colitis. I had an ileostomy bag for a couple of years, and then I had a reversal and I got a J pouch, which I still have to this day. And I try and interact with those people as much as I can, because obviously I can connect with them, because I can relate to them and they can relate to me. And I believe I can help a lot of them because I've had a lot of experience with, with mindset, and I've studied happiness and psychology, and I've written a book called World Class Happiness, which is available on Amazon. And I've studied for over 10 years now, over a decade, and I know that I can help people. Now, whether it be the health issues that some of us have got, whether it be, even mental health, I've helped a good number of people who have depression and have anxiety issues and, PTSD and had all different types of things, even people who are, suicidal at times. I really honestly believe I've helped those people. And that's because I get them as soon as possible, not to make the thing that is the problem their identity. And I try to get them to change their focus, get them to focus on things that are also important. They may not be as important, but they are still very important. In fact, I try and make them think that those things are more important. And certainly a lot of things are, whether it be, it could be relationships and family and things like that. Obviously, if you have children, they should a lot of the time be your priority over yourself, to some extent. So I try and get people to find something else. It could be a work thing, it could be you could be running a business, and I try and get them to focus on that. That could be it could be your sport, or you could be a coach, or you could be whatever, and I've tried to get people to do that at times, try and get them to do the sorts of things that I'm doing, because they've now got that experience, they've now got that to reflect on and use and pass on their experience and tell people about the things that have happened to them and what's worked for them and what hasn't worked for them, and what they still struggle with. Even if you're not always got solutions, you can empathize with people who have those issues. So I've tried to quite often just give people hope, give people a different perspective, and try and make people feel that that their condition is not the end of the world, and that they still have a purpose and they still have meaning in their life, and how when you start to reframe things, how things can start to look so much brighter. And that's what I like to do as much as anything, and that's what I would like most of you to do. Is I see people online who even though they're sometimes being quite positive about their condition, you can tell that is their complete identity. That is what they call themselves. They even their name. I know I'm the OSTOMY coach, but that is sort of my job. But I know that some people call themselves a certain thing that relates to the illness, and you know, you're labeling yourself as that illness to some extent. And I don't like to say that some people are making themselves victims. That's not necessarily the case in all cases. I think sometimes that, you know, people are putting that out there because that maybe makes them a little bit different. It makes them a little bit significant in some way. Maybe they get a little bit of sympathy from people and family members and friends, and that's all well and good. However, I sometimes feel that we need to, if you are going to use that identity, you need to use it in a positive way, a bit like I am right now. But as I've quite often said, my condition that I've had in the past, or you know, the J pouch I still have, and I still have the issues that maybe a lot of you have, I try not to focus on it. I try not to make that the thing that I think about more than anything else. I try and focus on the other big things in my life, which is, you know, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I run a business, I am a martial arts coach. Some of you follow me as well on the Kings of Judo, which is, it's not my business. I actually run a martial arts business called Dominic King Judo and MMA Academy, but I do run an Instagram, an account called the Kings of Judo, which is, as it stands at the moment, I've got 13,000 followers in a very short time. And so I try and make my identity my martial arts and my, you know, coaching that I do with my boy who's 17 and he's fighting at a high level in judo. And that's a good part of my identity, being a coach, being a mentor, like I say, being a dad, being a husband, and doing that. That's what takes up a lot of my focus, and I think that's a lot more positive than I'm just the guy who used to have the bag. I'm the guy with the J pouch. I'm the guy who had ulcerative colitis. I don't want that to be my identity, to the extent where sometimes I even forget, and sometimes I come unstuck with it. You know, there's times where occasionally I book things up and I kind of, like, you know, have things arranged, and then at the last minute I think, oh, I don't know how that's going to work with going to the toilet, or you know, or how that's going to work with timings and stuff, because I might have to go to the toilet, which a lot of you will maybe relate to. But I don't think of it. It's not the first thing I think of. Obviously I do have to consider it, but that isn't the main thing in my life that I focus on. Hence why I don't feel bad about it, and I do feel quite positive about it, and in fact very positive about it. I'm as I've often said, I'm glad that happened to me. I'm glad that the ulcerative colitis was a thing, and then I had to have the operation to have the bag, and then obviously, you know, where I am now. I think that whole journey has really made me the man that I am today, and it's helped me a lot to develop my psychology and my resilience and stuff like that. And I do kind of, to this day, I'm glad that it happened, and I would, if I could go back, if it was a case of pressing a button and I could just kind of almost be in a parallel universe where this has never happened, then I wouldn't actually take it, because I do believe that what it's given me is a lot more positive than if I'd have gone down the other route. So yeah, please try and take that on board. Please try and take some of that advice and use that for yourself, because I know it's just a case of changing your focus, changing your thoughts, you know, because your thoughts have a real direct effect on how you feel, and how you feel has a direct effect on how you act, and how you act then has an effect on the result of your life and how your life turns out. So that's today's message, and hopefully I'll make another video very soon. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So obviously this is the Ostomy Coach. Please subscribe, please like the video and other videos previously, and I'll make another one for you very soon. Thanks guys.